Adrian, how you doing, sir?
Hello, how are you?
I am good. I am good. Thank you very much for taking the time tonight, this evening for you, huh? Morning for me.
It's almost night.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, like I
Can
say, thank you so much for
thank you.
taking the time today. This is
Thanks to you.
awesome, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Looks great. Sounds great. Everything's good. That's
Okay,
awesome.
cool.
It's very fun to be able to virtually travel like this all across the world.
Yeah, I'm far away. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as, obviously I was talking about the Vourdalak, and it's going to be on Shudder here in the 27th this month. Very excited. I was introduced to this just recently, and I had to hop on to trying to talk to somebody involved because this movie was absolutely gorgeous, man. What a
Thank
feat.
you. Thank you.
Now, prior to this, as far as you coming up and maybe some of your interests growing up, what were some things, maybe some hobbies or interests that you and your friends had coming up as kids?
As a kid,
Mhm.
um, I've always been into horror actually, and
Okay.
I was making puppets and little creatures all the time, and
Okay.
so and from that I started to work for. Well, I studied like history of art, and I've been in an art school.
Wow. Okay.
Then, yeah, I've been working for fashion, but I'm really bad at designing clothes, actually. I was doing all the rest. I mean, like sets or
Okay.
windows for shops or stuff like that. And
Okay.
mostly, yeah, skeletons, a lot of skeletons. I don't know why they really loved skeletons at the time
Okay.
in the 2000s. So I did a lot of animal skeletons and stuff like that. And I did theater in the same time. So it was always like in between. Like so that's funny because some people who really hate the movie, the Vourdalak, they say it's not a film, it's theater.
Uh-huh.
And when I was in theater, people because the outfits were really complicated, people who hated the play were saying it's not theater, it's fashion. And when was doing fashion I did a little something with a Super 8 camera and film, and they said it's not fashion, it's a movie. So nobody wants a movie, and just like yeah, it goes like from one to the other. Yeah.
I, I don't know how anybody would hate or even dislike the Vourdalak. And honestly,
So
even, after watching that La Petite, is it Sirène?
yeah, it's this one. Yeah.
Wow, that just the stop motion and all, absolutely unsettling. There's a different type of horror that has the jump scares and all, but there's just something with your work that always remains pretty creepy there. Oh, I think I lost it for a second. Let's see if we get you back. Let's see, connection. Oh, I think I got you back.
I'm sorry, you're frozen.
Okay.
Can you hear me? I'm gonna go somewhere else because it's
Oh,
probably.
okay. Yeah. No, no.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good. My phone is
Yeah,
charged,
I was just
so
saying that
it's
and the
probably just
Vourdalak.
because
There's a
of the.
very unsettling like creepiness to your work within horror that it's just it works. I don't know how anybody wouldn't like it. It's
Oh,
beautiful, man.
but this short movie was almost 20 years ago. So when I cannot look at it anymore because I see like I mean it's yeah it was just a short film and
Sure,
I don't know.
sure.
But yes, there are similarities because there is a puppet in both. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
and
Now did
yeah,
oh go ahead,
no, no,
sorry.
no, and that yeah, I like puppets a lot. I like the way that
Now
they're just an object actually, but you have to. It's not like CGI where you just watch actually. You have to make something in your mind
uh-huh.
and decide that you're gonna believe it. And
Yeah.
it's like a contract that between me and the audience. Like, are you okay with it or not? And I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful like it's a beautiful blend and kind of balance there too, and the personification of something that you're watching, and at first it's kind of jarring, where you're like, wow, okay, like this is something a little bit different, but you kind of fall into like, no, this is the
Mm,
character, and this is this person's father, and as far as Vourdalak, so
mm.
when you were younger, did you find yourself making movies with friends, or was this something a little bit
Of
later
course,
in
yeah, I
life?
did. Yeah,
Okay,
I did. Yeah. All of them were very bad actually, and they were like, yeah, I kept a few or shit like that, or
Okay.
fake interviews or fake a lot of yeah a lot of murders, a lot
Okay.
of fake blood.
Playing with fake blood. Okay, and gore. Oh man, there he is. It's so awesome.
That was fun, yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh. That, yeah.
you won't see them. Nobody's gonna see them.
So
Can you
cool,
hear me?
man.
Okay.
And oh wow.
Well, I can. It, so it's
Man, oh man.
the
So
head.
you keep, I mean, you design all of that stuff then, right? So you keep a lot of it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's in little pieces. I didn't keep the rest of the body because it's big. So I have his hand.
Man, oh man, that's awesome. Now, was Halloween anything special for you with, with the puppet making and different things and costumes and all that? Did you have fun with that or did you not really celebrate?
It was in the same time. Then first of all, I'm sorry for my English. I know that I sound like somebody
You're
which is like
doing
sick.
great.
And okay, but yeah, it was I was building the puppet in the same time that I was writing the script. Actually, so there were like probably three or four different Gorshas in
Oh,
the process of
wow.
yeah.
Oh,
And in the end,
no kidding.
we didn't plan. I didn't plan to do the voice, but in the end, it was the most convenient because I was making it move, so I was speaking in the same time, and so we kept which fits, I think, because I smoke too
Oh,
much,
yeah.
so I have the voice of a 70 years old creepy person, so it's okay. And
Now, you were also involved in theater for years as well, and was it your interest in film that got you involved in that?
what 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 do you mean? Excuse me? Could you repeat?
In in theater, like as far as like live performance?
Yes. I mean, it's a totally different thing, actually.
Hmm.
Theater, it's a living art. You're on the stage in front of the audience. There is no editing. There is no security like that. Like, I mean, editing with a puppet, it's easy because you only keep the good pieces, you know.
Yeah.
But when you're in front of an audience, it's something that I no, it wouldn't work because this I cannot stay like 30 minutes in front of children or people and it being good, it would be very bad. So
Now, did you do
right,
puppets for
that's too
theater as
late.
well for shows?
I did, but not for mine. I did
Okay.
a few, yeah. I did for movies. I did some props like bat wings or yeah, other things like that. But they were not for my movies. They were
Oh,
like
okay.
a project that I was like writing, directing, and building the puppet and also performing it.
Okay.
It was the first time. It was a lot of work, and it drove me really mad at some point. Yeah, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, if somebody would have stabbed me on the while I was performing, I think I wouldn't have felt it because I was so much in a different realm. I really, yeah, I was crazy. Yeah,
Wow.
I feel better now.
How,
Yeah,
how do you go from theater to film then, as far as kind of jumping into directing and that whole realm?
I mean, it's yeah, as I said, it's very different, but the only similarity probably is working with actors. Um, when you make a movie, you make an object. In the end, it's supposed to be an object, something that people can watch anytime, anywhere, and you send it to the unknown.
Mhm.
The theater is now in front of people that are now with you, and it's a totally different. Yeah, the only thing that is common in between those things is yeah, working with actors and making them rehearse rehearsals. We've done lot of rehearsals for that movie, and because we had to,
Okay.
we wanted to find some kind of coherence between the puppet and them. They had to be like more like a puppet themselves or a character. We had to find a way to talk, a way to walk, a way to move and to behave and to dance, of course. That
Yeah.
that that would fit with a puppet for them to be a family of creepy people.
Okay. Now, within the Vourdalak, how were you introduced to this story? And from Tolstoy's, well, it was a story, right? It was like a book
Yeah,
initially.
yeah,
Okay,
it's a novella. Yeah.
novella.
Um,
Okay, what?
I read it like I think I read it first when I was a teenager because I had this moment where I was like really obsessed with all those Edgar Allan Poe and French writers like Théophile Gautier and all those um, fantasy, creepy short stories. And so when the producer who saw my first short films, she told me I'll fire a movie with you. I told her about that story, and so she read it, and we started working on it. Yeah.
Oh wow, no kidding. And
Yeah, yeah,
it goes from there, huh?
yeah. It goes from meeting her. Actually. Everything goes in life by meeting people. You just meet people and you don't know where to go. You have to say yes all the time. That's it.
Was it a big process as far as your perception of the story and writing the script? Did you have a couple of different ways that you wanted to portray this, or were you pretty set on what it was that we ended up getting?
This novella is very old. It's been written in the beginning of the 19th century. So by
Uh-huh.
many ways, it we had to change a lot of things in it. We had
Right.
to, and especially the characters. So at that time, the story, even if it's the story of a father who comes and feeds on his children, there were no political message in it, and it was also quite old in the way it was portraying women and their relationship with men, and also it has this very kind of racist style because it's this guy which is clever and rich and proud and brave, and he comes from the West, and he
Hmm.
goes to that creepy East where everybody's supposed to be stupid and I don't know,
Like
like
less than him.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we
Yep.
had to change that, and so we took that ridiculous feeling of the text and we put it on the main character. So he carries
Okay.
that on his shoulders. He's
Mhm.
the really ridiculous and proud and weak West foppish and but also kind of touching because in the end I hope he becomes more likable. He redeems. Well, I hope he does. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I think.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. I think that was one of those things I loved, and not to spoil or ruin anything for anybody, but by the end, at the beginning, you're like, God, this guy he's just an asshole, and you just
Yeah.
don't really want to like him. But by the end, you're like, okay, you're redeeming yourself some here, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. Yeah, and also I really think that we all are a little bit like that.
Sure.
What was interesting for me with the actors and also when we wrote with Adrien, the other writer, we co-wrote it,
Hmm.
Adrien Beau. We're much more interested, not much more, but we're even more interested than by the love affair in the movie than the strictly horror affair,
Hmm.
because love affairs in horror they're sometimes very monodimensional
Hmm.
and very simple. Oh, he falls for her and then he saves her and that's it. And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
sometimes when it's modern they change it so she falls for him and she saves him. Oh, how modern, great. But
right,
this is not the way love works
right.
because vampires they don't exist. They're not scary.
Hmm.
Love exists and love is the scariest thing in the world. So so we wanted to do something about that, and so we we put this very proud and ridiculous guy that we all are somewhere, men and women. I mean, everybody is this or has been in his life in this situation of being better than the other and
Hmm.
proud of it.
Hmm.
And so we all have inside this ridiculous character, but we all also all have inside when we're teenagers in love with horror. We're like a lonely, beautiful witch that wants to die in the wood and be left alone forever. So, and that has a very special connection with nature. So we
Sure.
wanted those two characters to meet, like some universal love. So no, it
Hmm.
was something. I'm sorry, I sound crazy, but it was a lot of reflection with the producer and with the co-writer
Sure.
about those two teenagers, kind of, kind of. I'm sorry for my English too. Yeah,
Dude,
kind of.
you're
Just,
great. You're great.
uh,
No, it's I love the relationship in between, our pompous character and falling for, his love interest, but then also the family and, the yearning for the father to come back and that, oh, he's not gone, everything will be okay. And kind of, this like surprise attack on finally showing Gorka, and it's like, holy shit, okay.
yeah, yeah,
And something I found interesting too is, the old original kind of iteration of vampires and zombies, being very much alike. And this, kind of being a portrayal there with, kind of the undead and it not being somebody
yes,
who's,
exactly,
who's charming and flattering and has glowing hair or anything like that.
exactly. Yeah, because that came from the that came actually that's what we read actually. It came from the cinema itself. Because before
Okay.
in this book has been
Mm-hmm.
written, or in the 18th century, vampires they were just like a corpse that comes back from the grave to feed on the living, and whether it's drinking their blood or eating their brains or their flesh,
Uh-huh.
it's just a living corpse that feeds on the living.
Sure.
And so the first vampire were like that, but it's Bram Stoker with Dracula, and after the movies with Bela Lugosi, that was supposed to be like a very handsome man at that time in
Yeah.
the 30s, that gave to the vampire this very glamorous style and separate him from the zombie. And that's also a very funny thing on a political way, because you see vampires, they're rich, they live in a castle, they have
Mm-hmm.
nice clothes, and they
Mm-hmm.
speak and they're seductive. Zombies, they're just like people like you and me. They don't even talk. They're disgusting. They're just like that in the street. So that's itself a very conservative way to see the dead.
Yeah. Sure, sure. And I mean, one of the beautiful things with this, because you mentioned your work in theater and costume, and sometimes not being impressed with some of your work, but working in fashion for over 10 years, how does, the costume design come for this? Did you have a lot of things on hand with a lot of things that had to get outsourced? Just beautiful as far as the garb and man.
Thank you. So the costume design, it's my friend Anne. We're friends since we're 11 years old. We've always been working together. We're like very, very close. And we speak together. That's funny because when we make some meetings, we speak like this language, very specific thing. Nobody can understand what we say because we've developed even a language together. And
Okay.
so yes, we've done a lot of research to know how people were dressing up at that time in this part of the world, which is like Serbia, but it's not the Serbia we know today because all the borders were different. It was like 18th century. So,
Right.
and so we've made a lot of research, and then we left them behind because it would be even more problematic about that cultural appropriation thing to represent exactly how the country was and put vampires in it, because no, vampires didn't exist nowhere. I mean, this is not true.
Right.
So we decided to make more each of them a character from a different part of that world,
Okay.
and also to reflect their personality. Of course, this Yegor, for an example, has got this big scar. The mustache is like a Cossack that's more Russian.
Hmm.
Anya, she's wearing the scarf like those people from Ottoman Empire, because at that time it was like a lot of Turkish invasion and stuff. It was
Sure.
Turkey at the time, the empire. And Zdenka, she's more like a 1970s hippie, weird woman. She's wearing all those jewels, which is a little bit of a gypsy, but more like yeah, I don't know. She looks like some girl from Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah.
No, I mean, as far as shooting locations, we have some beautiful sites. We have the farm, and we have the the forest wooded landscape. What went into finding these sites?
It was so we had to because since it was my first movie, I mean feature one, we didn't have like a lot of money or a lot of people following us before the movie was shot actually. So one of the thing we had to be in one place for everything and not to move the crew or other places. So we've been looking for 2 months there. We rented a car with my friend Adrien, which is also the co-writer,
Hmm.
and we went to everywhere, like to each farm, each old castle, and we found this. It's a monastery, but a very very small one that was from the 11th century, where only 10 monks were living. So it has this very
Wow.
very small scale, which is nice to put a family in, and that's nice because it looks like they just found the place and moved in. It doesn't look like something they built. It looks like older than them. So it gives this feeling of something very, very old, even older than the story itself. So
Hmm.
so we liked it this way, yeah. We
Man.
changed everything inside. We put some fake stairs, fake, yeah. I mean, it's cinema, so we had to change a lot of things.
Wow. All one location though, huh?
Yeah, all one location, yeah, for five
Wow.
weeks in the
Wow. And
forest.
then okay, and then shooting for 5 weeks then.
Yes, yes. The shooting was 5 weeks. Yeah,
Wow, man, oh man. Now,
so that
as
was
far
funny.
as designing Gorka, now you'd mentioned there was a couple of different versions. How do you decide on the terrifying version that we get?
So the first ideas were to put like a silicone mask on an actor. So I made a lot of sculptures, and then I made a mold, and then I made mask, and I tried them on some friends, and but then you can feel an actor behind. You can feel that
Mhm.
it's an actor with makeup. In movies, you can feel that there is somebody performing, and so and you can add cheekbones to make them look skinnier,
Mhm.
but actually you're adding. So when there is another character close to him, you see that it's a little bit like too wide.
Mhm.
And you cannot make like a very very skinny neck like you see in a mummy or something. And so it was, yeah. And since, as you know, since I did puppets for my other short movies and for fashion and theater, the idea of a puppet came quite easily. But then I had to sell the idea to the producers, and it was complete. It was, but they were. I mean, the main one, she was like totally okay with everything. She's super cool, and so she said,
Oh
like the
man.
weirdest, the best for her. So
Oh,
we're
absolutely. And totally complimentary. I mean, that was a great. I was going to ask as far as some of the others involved, or even Adrian, who co-wrote with you. When you brought that up, were they like, "What are we doing here?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a little bit cold about that at first.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was imagining probably more facial expression than that, and I don't know. But then in the end, I
Ooh.
mean, it became Gorsha. It became almost like somebody on the set with us for those 5 weeks. He was there. He was in his box, but it was cool. I mean, it wasn't. It was probably the less problematic person of the shooting. He was not capricious at all. I was
He
like
was
more a pain in the ass than him. Yeah. Mm.
okay. He was just off to the side smoking a cigarette while everybody else was shooting and just having a good time there.
I think I think we all had fun actually in the end, yeah, because everything was a little bit. Yeah, sometimes we were like, "What are we doing? We don't know." Okay, let's do it. Let's go on. But
Oh
yeah, no,
man.
it was cool. And so I'm sorry, yeah, you asked me about the design. So I was thinking I wanted a dead corpse. I wanted a corpse, and so I designed a lot of them. But I didn't want like a zombie, which is like disgusting and with like open flesh and rotting. And so I was thinking about what kind of, because he has this kind of royal attitude in the movie. I mean, he behaves like he's the king of something. Or
Uh-huh.
so I thought of the pharaohs, of course, of the Egyptian mummies because they're dead corpse, but they also have this kind of nobility because they're very clean. They're not like rotting,
Uh,
but they're dead corpse too. So of course I inspired with Ramses mummy,
okay.
Ramses II
Hmm.
mummy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was my inspiration for the design.
Man. Oh man, that is awesome. And it was funny because it wasn't until I watched an interview of yours that I realized, or at least I thought, that you had voiced Gorka, and
Oh
I
yes,
had to go back and look at the IMDb page and look, and I was like, "Holy shit! No kidding, he
yeah,
did
I did.
voice it."
I did indeed. In the end, yeah, we kept it. I was supposed to, we were supposed to dub it then, but we had very little time for many things and for post production and stuff. And so the producer told me, "You got a terrible voice. It's really scary. Keep it. Let's
Keep
keep
it.
it." Je t'aime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
each time I go to the festival, I have to say in the microphone, "Je t'aime," and people say,
dude, that is so awesome and haunting. Holy man, you even saying that that is scary, man. Holy shit. I give you all the props too, and for having the
"Thank
bravery
you."
of doing something like bringing up having a puppet or just something different was really that and captivating. Like it was already of this beautiful almost 70s feeling folk
Yeah,
story, and
because
then
puppets. Now people they're like they're pointing at it and they say, "Oh, it's a puppet. It's a puppet." Everybody said that about the movie, like it's some very original thing. But truly, it's not. It's probably the most old thing ever. I mean, the shark of Jaws was a puppet. All those the fly in the end it's a puppet.
yeah.
Um, there are puppets everywhere. But now that there is CGI, people think it's something special, but it's always been like that. Puppets have been everywhere all that time.
Yeah.
And CGI, I don't know anything. I don't really trust them. Well, I think it's really unfair because it's so boring to shoot something on a green screen and then all the people they have fun in their office in front of their computer. They have all the fun.
Uh-huh.
So no. I'm not doing that.
I like that. And I mean that resonates with anybody within film or anybody within interests of horror movies, especially. Practical effects are always something that is the first thing that will come up. When somebody has something involved,
Mm,
that already wins more points. Absolutely, still to this day. So it is
mm.
special. I still love it, man, and it pulled off amazingly.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, I mean, as far as making, is it just a silicone? Like, do you have molds? Do you have that whole like setup at your house then, with how you've been involved for so
Yes,
long?
I make sculpture.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
with that. Sorry, I don't know the word. Sculpture, I
No.
guess.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Good.
so I sculpt like a head,
Hmm.
and then I make a mold, and then I make several molds because then I have to put like some skull inside for it to not to collapse, and then I make a mold but the skin is silicone. Yes, it's an
Mm.
amazing material. Silicone is like I'm totally addicted to that now. It's like I do everything with it. It's amazing. It really feels like flesh, and it can be really gross,
Uh,
and it takes the life
yeah.
like flesh. Actually, it's really it's an amazing material. I love it.
Uh, man, oh man, I can imagine. Now, with the scene, once again, I don't want to, say spoilers or anything like that, but there's a particular biting scene, and
Yes,
just kind of seeing how was that difficult as far as pulling it off with, the puppet kind of biting in and
yeah,
tearing
that's
out,
funny.
and
That's funny. That was really nice to shoot. And the little boy, Gabriel,
Mhm.
um, so he was very young at the time. He was 7 years old, and so he's
Oh,
supposed to. I don't know if I'm spoiling it, but we can say it, I guess. I mean,
sure, sure.
he's getting beaten by the vampire and full frontal shot like that,
Hmm.
and he bleeds a lot, and he was super excited by this scene. Actually, he really wanted to do it like many times and to rehearse and to do and dying in different ways and stuff. And so we had long conversation with the father, of course, with his father. And before that, he acted in a movie, a TV movie, I think, where he was supposed to be, where his mother was arrested by the police, and it was a very realistic movie, but it was not like horror. But it
Okay.
was more. But it was actually the father said to us that it's actually more problematic for children to act in such
It's
movies that are
traumatic.
realistic and
Yeah,
really
yeah,
sad than being beaten by a plastic vampire and bleeding to death, and which is like just fun and
yeah.
absolutely impossible to happen. So
Right,
it's just like
right,
a game.
right.
So yes, we had great fun with him. He was like really into it. There
Oh
is a
man.
scene where he comes back. He comes back as a vampire, the little boy.
Uh-huh.
But and we had a close up of him. But in the end, we didn't edit it because it didn't fit to the editing. He was
Okay.
disappointed, but we shot it, and so he was happy to have it. He's walking reverse like that for the fabric to move reverse when we turn it. And well, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Does it make
wow.
sense?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
No,
okay.
that sounds, man, that sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
It's
that was cool, but it didn't fit to the rest of the movie. It was like
okay.
since the scene is
Okay.
seen by him, by the main character, which is far away, so we couldn't have this. In the end, it was looking weird, so we
Okay.
took it out of the final editing.
Well, I mean, it's still effective, still absolutely, by the end and some of the transformation that's happening and some of the horrors that are going on there and people trying to, just survive at that point,
Mm,
as oof,
yeah.
man, oh man. Now, what bring us back to day one of shooting? What scene, what kicked it all off for you?
Oh, it was we shot it like quite chronologically, actually. So
Okay.
it was the main character in the forest with a dog and walking into the forest. So we had
Okay.
time to go to get through horror since it was like
Okay.
almost yeah. The very last day he fell from the cliff, and that was a little bit scary actually because it was an actual cliff, and so we had the firemen and a lot of stunt people. It was attached. Then we raised his belt and stuff. He was attached. It was because he was falling from the cliff on a mattress with cardboard boxes and stuff. It was really scary. I was
Oh,
much more
wow.
scared than him because the actor he wanted to do it, and me I was like okay. So we shot it once. He wanted to do it again, but I was like no. Once it's okay.
One take, man.
Yeah, yes, of course, because I know it's really dangerous actually. I
Yeah.
mean, falling from a cliff is yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't want to do. I'm not, I don't like danger so much. I don't like that. I don't even like to do snowboard or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Keep it close and safe, keep it close to
Yeah,
home there. That's
yes,
good.
yeah. I like
I think that's
to.
what draws us a lot of times to horror is being able to kind of vicariously live in these situations and
Yeah,
see from afar, but not be in them, thank God.
yeah. No, yeah, exactly. No. I don't want anything like that. I'm not. Yeah. And even
Yeah,
like even the fake blood that was dripping on my hands from because in the end he's lying on the bed and there is a lot of blood falling on his face,
uh,
the vampire. So it was coming in the mouth and so my hand was covered with this fake blood that dries and becomes super sticky, but like glue actually, and it's really disgusting. And so yeah, I mean it was really not comfortable for many things this shooting because we were like in the middle of the forest. It was the winter because of the color grading, we made it look like fall, but it was actually
okay.
winter, and it
Oh,
was
really?
super cold. That's why sometimes when they speak, they've got like all that, and it's a
Okay.
little weird. They're supposed to eat outside, like having a nice picnic, but all of them are, how do you call that, steam
Like
coming out
breath
from the
coming out,
mouth.
yeah, Steve,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
they're weird anyway, so it's okay.
And it was just something that I knew I was in for a treat with that opening shot that you mentioned too, because there was the shadow play of not really being able to see, and it was
Yeah,
just, the light every once in a while kind of giving, like,
yeah, because
okay, this is like
we,
a
that, that
very,
that's also the kind of thing that we have to find like super quick because we had no time to shoot the scene because in the script it was an actual scene. The guy opens the door and gives him a little food and help him to dry his clothes and tells him what he says in the end at the door. Since
okay.
we had no time, we said, okay, don't even open the door, just tell him that through the door, and
Mm.
so we couldn't shoot that, yeah. But in the end, it's like that. It's nicer because it's more concentrated on it's more like one place, the house, and that's it. And well, you have to tell yourself a lot of things in the end to say this is better this way, but it's just like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess for like a sake of time and such, that makes sense. But it may have even been even more effective with how it's portrayed in the movie and just that kind of short conversation and the very low visibility, as far as being able to see the characters and who it is that's talking.
Hmm.
Yeah, is
It's
it,
super.
it worked.
Yeah, it's just like a voice and it just opens the movie this way. Yeah, but it was not.
Mhm.
It wasn't written like that in the beginning.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
with that final day there, and wrapping, on shooting after 5 weeks, did you guys have a little celebration, or was there any kind of
Of
you
course,
know, uh,
of
okay,
course we did. We had a big party. Yeah, we're very
okay,
happy actually that we did it because we're not sure that we would finish actually because it was yeah, we had like the weather was really terrible. We had like,
oh man,
it was raining and foggy and wet, and when they walk in the forest, she had this long gown with a long train.
uh-huh.
So we had to clean the floor of the forest, all the branches and all the stones and everything, because she couldn't walk. She was always like uh, dragging stones with her or branches with her dress. So we had to clean the floor all the time, and then put back some dead leaves for it to look nice. It was a lot. Nature was really bitchy to us. This shooting, yeah.
And it's always something, with having nature involved or working with kids, those kind of unexpecteds that come along with things. But it seems like for the most part, everything kind of worked out. And I mean, aesthetically, the look, I know that you said you did some color grading, but just with the locations and just with the forest, shots and all, it was just, man, beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Man,
But
man.
yeah, we had to embrace that old look actually of, of the puppet and of the everything. I mean, they dress up. It's more like an opera where you don't care about realism. You just like follow the story and the characters and the music and that's it. It's like a fairy tale
Mm.
more than some realism. I don't care about realism first of all, and also and yeah, and so that's why we shot it 16 millimeters with 16 millimeter film actually
Oh
instead of
yeah, okay.
digital because it would be more coherent with the puppet and with the characters and also with the dialogues that are like really really far from realistic dialogues. It's more like all of them they're doing kind of prophetical, cheap, poetic, weird, crazy dialogues. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know why I'm saying that. You said something before. Oh, of course, because of the nature. Yes, and
Yeah.
all the night scenes are day for night. We shot it during the day, and then we colored them blue and darker.
Oh
But
really? Okay.
but we have yeah. So
Oh
it
wow.
like they used to do like all all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So it's because it's film and because yeah, so it's day for night all the time. That's why all the nights are blue and greenish and that's why you can see actually something because otherwise
Mm.
you couldn't see anything. Yeah.
Man, now shooting on 16 millimeter, did that give? Do you think more? I mean, I would say complimentary, but would you say it was that more of a difficulty in shooting with that versus digital, or would you have not done it any other way?
Well, it's different because you since the film is expensive, you don't shoot as much as you could with
Right.
digital.
Right.
So, but anyway, I always even the short movies I did them with film because it's something I really like. I really understand that it's
Mm-hmm.
physical. It's like
Oh
chemical. It's real.
yeah.
And I can understand that. It's not like I'm a purist or something. I really don't care. It's just because I understand it. And also, um, and it's nicer to. So we did a storyboard, a very precise one, and then we rehearsed according to that. And so it was easy actually to do the. I mean, the shooting of the movie, for some people who do a lot of improvisation and stuff like that, maybe this way of working is boring. But for me, I like it very much because we just deliver the thing. Even the actors that deliver their lines the way we studied together how they should deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have really time for self-expression right now in front of everyone. No, everybody's working at the same level, and it has something like more. Um, it's not pyramidal shit. It's very cool. We're very all together, and it's fun in the end
Yeah.
because it's
Sure.
crazy stuff that they have to do, like the dancing, the puppet. It's like we're like a freak circus a little bit. We all had our little tour to make little. I do say that numéro to do. I'm
Okay.
sorry for my
Yeah.
again.
No. 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 Oh, good, good. What,
I'm
you know,
smoking a
and
lot. I don't know if it's like children are watching that, but mm,
that's all
sorry.
right. Now the choreography with the dancing
Yeah,
and some of the blocking and some of those scenes, I would assume that that was something that was pretty heavily practiced on and kind of gone over, run through.
yeah. Ariane, she's a dancer. Before being an actress, she was a ballet dancer.
Oh wow, okay,
She's a very, very. I mean, wow. She does things, amazing things with her legs and stuff. She's a dancer.
okay.
So it was really, really nice. She's been rehearsing with Fabio Bello, who's the choreographer of the movie, a friend of mine,
Hmm.
for a long time. And so his name is Fabio Bello, and my name is
Okay.
Adrien Beau. So I thought it would be like the love of my life, but no, sorry. And yeah, but so no, but it's cool. And that was, yeah, it was a lot of rehearsing, and then she was like, that's funny because she was working on her body, like practicing, and I was painting my puppet. It was very physical. It was not like psychological conversations about the characters and how they should react to blah blah blah. It was very concrete. I don't know how to say. Very real,
Hmm.
very concrete. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. You and I'm having just different things that are coming up, as we're talking to and thinking of. But the one of the other things with Gorka too was not only his design, but also like the paint job that you had done too. Did you ever kind of incorporate some color, or was that scheme always meant to be a very mono, the grays and blacks?
Yes. Well, I wanted him to be very, very white, very, very pale, like
Uh,
for it to pop up compared to the skin complexion of the others.
okay,
And
right.
then I had to, and then of course dark circles around the eyes and a few different colors. I just Yeah, when I paint flesh, usually I mix like red and yellow, different layers, and even blue, green, and brown, and all those. For the white skin, it's the technique I use.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
for him, I didn't use any red, not at all. Like he doesn't have any blood in his veins or anything. So in the end, it looks blue, grayish, greenish.
Right.
He has all the other layers, but no red, so that makes him very livid and pale. Yeah.
Oh man, oh man, yeah. It was awesome, dude. I had so much fun with this movie, and I think maybe even to wrap, you obviously you have Gorka and you have some of those beautiful pieces from what you built. Did you take anything away from the set? Any of the costumes or anything
Well,
like that?
the set department, they made a little party at the end of the shooting. After one day, a terrible day, and they gave everything, like all the candles, the chairs, the thing, to everyone. But I didn't go. I didn't know they would give all the sets to people, and I didn't go. So in the end, I just ended up with some candles and things like that. So I'm a
Okay.
little disappointed about that,
Uh,
but it's okay.
okay.
It's okay.
But you have
You know,
Gorka,
I don't want to keep like at home. I
right?
mean, I've been working a lot on that movie, so if I can think about something else, it's cool too.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
having the experience and the firsthand on feet on the ground with making this. I mean, that's a a huge feat.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and you
It's
have
yeah,
Gorka.
yeah. I do. He's here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you got that rascal just hanging around the house, boy. Oh, but any future plans for something? I mean, you built this incredible puppet and having him.
For
Is
him,
he going to show up in anything?
I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a lot of plans with him
Okay.
now. I mean, his work is done.
Okay.
He's just staying here. But I bring it with me when I do some when I go to some special screenings and stuff, because some people, there is always one or two person that wants to make a selfie with him. So
Sure.
I bring it in my bag, and I bring the head, actually, not the rest of the body, because it would be a flight ticket, actually. So it would be very. Yeah.
How tall was the puppet?
Uh, I don't know the feet. I don't know the size in America. It's very different, like feet
Okay.
and inches. It's always got problematic. But it's,
Comparable to
it's,
the other actors, though, as far
it's
as
one
height?
meter 75, I would say. It's like
Okay.
medium guy. It's like he's also, he doesn't stand like quite straight. He's a little bended, slouching a little.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
he's like a person. He's the size of a person. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, dude, Adrian, this has been absolutely amazing. I could not
Thank
thank you enough for the time
you.
today.
Thank you.
Uh, what an awesome movie. It's going to be on Shudder
Yes.
January 27th.
And
How
also,
exciting for that.
I have to make a little for Oscilloscope. I have to make a little advertisement for them.
Sure.
They're releasing the DVD, which is nice because there are some drawings inside and a booklet with a lot of documents in it.
Oh,
And they're releasing
man.
from it's gonna be sometimes next week or the week after, and or in those three coming weeks. I don't know exactly when, but Oscilloscope is doing the DVD. So you can, so people can buy it if they want. I don't get one single dollar on that, but I would be happy that people have that DVD at home. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Is that releasing through Shudder?
Uh,
The DVD of it?
no, it's Oscilloscope,
Oh,
the
okay.
company. Yeah, they're
Awesome.
releasing the DVD, but it's gonna be on Shudder sometimes very soon. I don't know exactly when. Or it
Man,
can
yeah.
also be free on some streaming website.
Yep, yep.
If you look for it for free, you can find it too.
We
I'm not
we have
supposed
it
to say
on Am
that.
we have it on Amazon Prime.
Yes,
That
yes.
was where I rented it and I watched it a couple of times there. But it being on Shudder, now I can pop it on and have a nice morning cup of coffee with it and get surrounded by that world. Adrian, thank you
Thanks
so much once
to
again for
you.
the
Thanks to you.
time. This has been amazing, and I hope to talk again, man. I hope that
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you have coming next. And but for now, everybody check out the Vourdalak.
Okay.
It's going to be on Shudder January 27th.
Yes.
So psyched.
Bye.
All right, take care,
Bye.
sir. Have a good day. And
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi a horror guy. Yeah. Lo-fi horror guy has been recorded in front of a live studio audience.